Welcome to the debate. When we picture the classic hospitality industry, we usually imagine this incredibly smooth, almost, theatrical performance of service. A guest walks into a beautiful, dimly lit hotel lobby. The music is soft, the air smells like white tea, and the staff is just completely focused on their arrival.
Right, the classic ideal of the Grand Hotel. Everything feels effortless.
Exactly. But today, we are looking at the exact moment that beautiful illusion shatters, which is the ringing phone.
Yeah, the dreaded phone.
Right. Behind that polished veneer at the reception desk, there is often a frantic, hidden triage happening. A guest is standing right in front of the receptionist, exhausted from travel, holding a credit card. But the phone on the desk is ringing, and the receptionist is just trapped.
It is the ultimate operational bottleneck. You have the physical human being demanding immediate attention, and the disembodied voice on the line demanding the exact same thing.
It really is a fundamental friction point that just breaks the entire guest experience. So we are debating whether AI platforms, specifically Clickfone, are actually curing this operational bottleneck, or if they are simply, shuffling the work onto a digital dashboard.
Which is a huge distinction.
Definitely. We're looking at the platform's operational data, the features it provides specifically for the hotel industry, and the day-to-day realities of its implementation. I'll be arguing that this technology is a revolutionary, standalone efficiency engine for hotel operators. It completely eliminates lost revenue from missed calls and fundamentally unburdens front desk staff.
And I will be taking the position that, well, while the quantitative metrics being advertised are definitely impressive, this system acts primarily as a level 1 filter. The human element of hospitality is not being replaced or perfectly automated.
But it's changing, right?
Right, exactly. Instead, the receptionist's job is being fundamentally restructured around managing the AI's data outputs and, carefully navigating its strict pricing tiers.
Well, to understand why a fundamental shift is necessary at all, we have to look at the baseline data. Right now, hotel operators are facing an entirely unsustainable reality at the front desk.
The workload is intense, yeah.
It's massive. Receptionists are losing up to 4 hours a day just dealing with standard phone calls. That is half a working shift entirely consumed by holding a plastic receiver to their ear, usually repeating the exact same information over and over.
What time is check-in, basically?
Exactly. And the financial fallout is worse. If we calculate the savings and the lost opportunities, it's staggering. Outside of regular opening hours or during the morning rush, hotels are seeing a 38% rate of missed calls.
Now, the missed calls are a clear issue, but attributing a 38% loss directly to receptionists simply being too busy, that paints an incomplete picture of hotel operations.
But it is direct, quantifiable lost revenue, regardless of the cause. If a guest calls to book a room and nobody answers, they just call the hotel down the street. Enter the Clickfone AI voice agent. It acts as an autonomous digital concierge.
Autonomous being the key word there.
Right. By utilizing a centralized knowledge base, this AI handles everything from concrete room bookings to simple inquiries about check-in times. The return on investment is immediate. If we calculate the savings, operators are reducing personnel costs by an average of 12,000 euros annually, while converting those previously missed calls into a 38% increase in accepted leads.
Which sounds great on paper.
It solves the bottleneck by completely removing standard inquiries from the human's plate.
Looking purely at a 12,000 euros saved metric is a great way to obscure the operational reality of how this system actually integrates into a living, breathing hotel. If you read the platform architecture, Clickfone explicitly designs this system to handle level 1 requests and standard queries.
Which is most of the call volume.
Sure, but it does not magically erase a receptionist's daily workload just because it answered the phone.
But it reduces manual rework by 62%. You don't think a 62% reduction in manual tasks transforms a receptionist's day?
It reduces manual rework, sure. I'm not denying the math. But you are ignoring the transformation of the job itself. Instead of answering the phone to explain where the parking garage is, the receptionist is now sitting behind a screen.
Reviewing the data.
Right. They are reviewing the AI's structured tickets, reading through transcripts to ensure the AI didn't, promise a room that doesn't exist, and executing the complex cases that the AI kicks back to them. The work hasn't vanished, it has just been digitized and pushed to a CRM dashboard.
I just think that completely mischaracterizes the speed and ease of this technology. Let's look at the very first step a hotel operator takes, which is implementation. The gap between a theoretical software solution and a practical one is usually, well, how hard it is to actually get it running.
And it's always harder than they say.
Not here. Clickfone has a time to live of under 5 minutes.
Come on. 5 minutes is a marketing metric for a technical handshake. It is not the reality of setting up a hospitality interface.
The technical handshake is the entire foundation, though. Think about what happens in those 5 minutes. First, the hotel assigns a phone number. Or, if they are handling massive call volume, they connect their existing SIP trunk.
Which most large hotels would need to do.
Right. And for our listeners who might not manage telecom systems, a SIP trunk basically allows a business to route massive simultaneous call volumes directly through the internet, rather than relying on a single analog phone line that gives callers a busy signal.
Right, it opens the pipes, so to speak.
Exactly. So you connect that digital pipeline. Then you connect your existing booking systems like Google Calendar or Outlook via an API in exactly 2 clicks. It literally just syncs with the hotel calendar. Finally, you upload your FAQs to the knowledge base.
That third step is the catch, though.
But it is exactly like plugging in a highly educated seasonal worker who already knows how to use your specific booking software and who can literally talk to 50 guests simultaneously. If the calendar integration takes 2 clicks, how is that not an immediate out-of-the-box revolution?
Because you are confusing technical connectivity with operational readiness. I mean, I don't doubt the speed of an API connection. Linking a Google Calendar takes seconds. That is the easy part. The friction lies in step 3, the knowledge base. You say they just, quote, upload their FAQs.
Yes. You just upload your website URLs or PDF documents, and the AI ingests it.
You can't just throw a 5-year-old PDF at an AI and expect it to provide high-touch hospitality. The AI is only as intelligent as the structured data it receives. Curating that company information takes meticulous human oversight.
I think meticulous might be overstating it.
No, you have to map out precise pricing tiers, seasonal variations, and complex service details. What happens when a guest asks if the standard double can fit a rollaway bed for a toddler? What happens if they ask if the restaurant's breakfast buffet is safe for a severe celiac allergy?
The AI reads the document.
But if the AI is going to answer consistently, a human being had to go into that system and explicitly define those parameters beforehand.
You are describing the basic responsibilities of running a hotel. The manager already has to know those answers. The system uses natural language processing to extract those variables from the documents. The manager doesn't have to sit there and code logical pathways.
They still have to ensure the data is perfect.
Sure, but the NLP engine maps the guest's unpredictable conversational speech to the structured facts in the uploaded documents. It's incredibly intuitive.
But those facts change constantly. It is a continuous maintenance burden. When the chef decides to change the gluten-free menu for a holiday weekend, the AI does not magically know. Someone has to remember to log into the Clickfone dashboard, update the knowledge base, and verify the prompt logic.
Which takes seconds.
If they don't, the AI will confidently give 200 callers the completely wrong information.
Okay, but updating a single centralized PDF takes perhaps 3 minutes. Verbally repeating the changed breakfast hours to 200 different callers takes hours of a receptionist's time.
Assuming the AI doesn't hallucinate an answer.
The maintenance of the knowledge base is drastically less work. And that brings us exactly to the daily reality of the front desk. Let's talk about what happens in the lobby once the system is actually running.
Let's talk about it, because this is where the theoretical efficiency meets human stress.
The stress comes from the bottleneck, which the AI is actively solving. Think about how the agent solves typical bottlenecks, like concrete reservations. The agent autonomously handles room bookings by pulling real-time availability directly from that Google Calendar integration we just mentioned.
Right, the API sync.
Exactly. It books tables in the hotel restaurant. It answers the endless mind-dumbing stream of standard inquiries. What time is check-in? Or can you give me walking directions from the central train station? The agent processes all of this simultaneously in real time.
Doing the heavy lifting.
Yes, this noticeably reduces the daily workload at the hotel reception, completely freeing the human receptionist to focus on the physical guests standing in the lobby.
But it doesn't just process the call and disappear into the ether. It generates structured tickets in the CRM system. HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce. The AI automatically writes contacts, notes, and conversation data into these platforms.
Which gives the hotel an incredible organized database of customer interactions without the receptionist having to type a single word.
But from the perspective of the reception staff, dealing with those CRM tickets is still work. It's just a different kind of work.
It's much faster work.
Hear me out. If a caller asks a level 2 question, something the AI isn't cleared to answer, like negotiating a group rate for a wedding party, the AI routes that as a ticket for a human callback. The receptionist now has a queue of digital emergencies piling up on a dashboard. They are no longer a switchboard operator. They have been turned into a digital ticket dispatcher.
You're ignoring the psychological and temporal difference between synchronous panic and asynchronous control. Yes, the receptionist has to look at a CRM dashboard, but they get to do it when the lobby is empty.
When is the lobby ever truly empty?
Look at the 62% reduction in manual rework again. Reading a perfectly transcribed, prioritized ticket with sentiment analysis already attached takes perhaps 15 seconds. Compare that to the alternative.
The alternative being talking to the guest.
The alternative being trapped on a 10-minute phone call where a guest asks for parking directions, gets confused about the street names, asks what is on the restaurant menu, and then ultimately decides not to book.
Well, that's hospitality.
But that 10-minute call breaks the receptionist's flow state and halts the actual operations of the hotel lobby. The guest standing in front of them feels ignored. The 15-second ticket allows the receptionist to maintain total control of the environment.
Reading a transcript is faster, I give you that. But you are completely discounting the cognitive whiplash of this new workflow.
Cognitive whiplash?
Yes, bouncing from smiling and making small talk with a guest in the physical world to suddenly turning to a screen and staring at a queue of 5 red alerts in Salesforce is a different kind of mental load. The promise of AI is that it, handles it all. The reality is that the AI handles the mundane standard, and the human is left doing nothing but handling the complex, highly stressed exceptions.
But in hospitality, the exceptions are exactly where the human touch is required. Because the standard logistics are automated, the human finally has the bandwidth to handle the exception gracefully rather than rushing through it because line 2 is ringing.
I just think it's a very different job description now.
Let's expand this beyond the local lobby operations, though. The local bottleneck is just a fraction of the problem. If we look at the international scale of hotel bookings, this technology fundamentally changes the game.
So you are pivoting to the 24/7 availability and the automatic speech recognition.
Precisely. Let's emphasize the 24/7 accessibility for international hotel guests. Clickfone offers native automatic speech recognition for over 30 languages. Let's look at the implications for a mid-sized international hotel.
Okay, let's hear the scenario.
Imagine a guest calling from Tokyo at 3 a.m. local hotel time. In the past, that caller bips a ringing phone that eventually goes to a generic, English-only voicemail. The lead is dead.
Usually, yes.
But with this system, the AI answers instantly. And here is the benefit of the automatic speech recognition. It doesn't ask them to press 1 for English or 2 for Japanese. It listens to the first few phonemes, automatically identifies the language, and switches its synthesized voice and comprehension engine to Japanese in milliseconds.
The language detection is undeniably a technological marvel, I'll give you that.
It answers their questions about the train station, books the room directly into the calendar, and secures international revenue in the middle of the night. The hotel just gained a global presence without having to staff a multilingual night desk. It completely eliminates the language barrier for international guests.
Look, I will not dispute the power of instantly pivoting between 30 languages. It is highly effective for level 1 international requests. But if we are analyzing this as a serious solution for hotel operators, we cannot talk about global scale without talking about the structural limitations baked into the pricing models.
The pricing is completely transparent and scales directly with the business's needs, though.
It scales, sure, but it also dictates how the hotel is allowed to operate. Let's actually look at the numbers you are championing. Clickfone offers a basic starter package at €49.99 a month.
Very affordable.
On paper, €50 a month sounds like an incredible steal for a hotel operator looking to replace a night desk. But what does that €50 actually buy you? It buys exactly 200 conversation minutes.
Which is a perfectly reasonable baseline for a small boutique operation to test the waters and see how the AI handles their specific call volume.
200 minutes is practically nothing. That is 3 hours and 20 minutes of talk time for the entire month. Let's use an analogy. 200 minutes a month is basically a cellular phone plan from 2004.
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
Is it? If the average hotel inquiry call is just 4 minutes long, you have blown your entire monthly budget on 50 confused tourists asking if the pool is open. For a hotel with high international call volume, or one that is successfully converting that 38% of missed calls you mentioned, they will burn through that in a single busy weekend.
Well, if they burn through it, that means the system is working and capturing leads, and the overage is only 20 cents a minute. Alternatively, if they know they have high volume, they simply upgrade to the Pro tier for €149, which gives them 600 minutes.
And if they have a truly robust international presence like you described with the Tokyo caller, they are forced into the business tier at €299.99 a month for 1,200 minutes.
Let's do the math on that business tier then. For roughly €300 a month, you're getting 1,200 minutes of multilingual 24/7 support across 10 user seats, with full API access and webhook integrations.
It's still a hard cap on minutes.
But €300 a month wouldn't even cover a fraction of a part-time human receptionist salary, let alone the specialized salary of a multilingual night auditor. The cost of the compute minutes is absolutely trivial compared to the revenue generated. Every extra minute the AI spends on the phone correlates directly to captured leads that would have otherwise hung up and called a competitor.
That assumes the caller converts into a paying guest. You are assuming every minute on the phone equals revenue. But what happens when the Tokyo caller you mentioned spends 8 minutes asking granular questions about parking, breakfast, and room dimensions, and then decides not to book?
That happens with human receptionists too.
Yes, you have just paid for 8 minutes of advanced compute time, and you have zero revenue to show for it.
Paying a few cents for a missed lead is just the cost of doing business. As I said, you pay a human receptionist to talk to people who don't book too.
Yes, but you don't pay the human per minute of speech. This is exactly why I argue the system turns operators into digital managers. To maintain that €12,000 ROI, the hotel manager has to actively manage this new cost center.
They're just monitoring the dashboard.
They have to constantly look at the Clickfone KPI dashboard. They have to analyze the call summaries, track the conversion rates against the minute usage, and constantly tweak the prompt templates in the knowledge base to ensure the AI gets callers off the phone faster. It is an entirely new type of workload. They are doing prompt engineering to save pennies.
I disagree completely. Reviewing the KPI dashboard to optimize a system that is driving a 38% increase in accepted calls is a highly strategic, high-value task for a hotel manager. It gives them visibility into exactly what guests are asking for at scale.
It's still work.
But waiting on hold or apologizing to the physical guest because the phone won't stop ringing is not a high-value task. The AI takes the reactive, low-level friction and elevates it into strategic data.
It elevates the nature of the data, yes, but we must be precise in our language. It does not run completely autonomously as a plug-and-play revolution. It requires a human to guide its parameters, to monitor its minute limits, and to actively catch the complex CRM tickets it kicks out when it fails to resolve a request.
It feels like we are looking at the exact same data and drawing a different philosophical line in the sand here. Let's summarize the mechanisms we've discussed today.
Sounds good.
We've traced the path from the rapid setup, connecting SIP trunks and booking APIs in minutes, through the daily reality of the lobby, resulting in a 62% reduction in manual rework. We've scaled that up to the global 24/7 capability, utilizing native automatic speech recognition across 30 languages.
Right.
From my perspective, the underlying logic is undeniable. The combination of multilingual processing, direct Google Calendar integration, and the ability to autonomously handle the two biggest bottlenecks, room and table reservations, makes Clickfone a definitive solution. When an operator can save 4 hours a day of front desk phone time and convert 38% of previously missed calls into leads, they aren't just shifting work around. They are fundamentally unburdening the hotel's operations and securing their bottom line.
And I maintain that while the technology brilliantly captures those missed leads and handles standard check-in or direction queries, it is fundamentally a workflow-shifting tool. The reduction in manual phone time is real, absolutely, but it turns receptionists into CRM managers.
It gives them a new tool, yes.
Volume scales. It restructures the work from synchronous conversation to asynchronous digital dispatch. It doesn't eliminate the human effort required to run a hotel.
Despite the friction in how we view the workload, we do have significant points of convergence. I think the evidence clearly supports that AI voice technology is highly effective at triaging those level 1 requests. We both agree it prevents lost revenue from missed calls outside of opening hours.
Without a doubt. And the underlying NLP engine, the ability to ensure an international guest calling in Japanese is immediately understood and processed regardless of the time zone, is a clear structural benefit to any hotel's operational capability.
Which forces us to reflect on a broader implication for the hospitality industry as a whole. As AI masters the logistics, the room bookings, the data entry, the CRM ticket generation, and the endless repetition of opening hours, the very definition of human hospitality is going to evolve. It has to evolve. I mean, if the machine handles the logistics of the transaction, the human must handle the emotional connection.
Precisely.
The value of the front desk will no longer be measured by how quickly they can type a credit card number into a booking software while balancing a phone on their shoulder. It will be measured by how well they can read the needs of the guest standing physically in front of them.
Which brings us right back to the scene we started with. Picture that hotel lobby again. It's the middle of the evening rush. But this time, the phone isn't ringing. The lobby is quiet.
The AI is handling dozens of calls simultaneously in the cloud. The receptionist looks up from their desk, makes genuine eye contact, and simply asks the guest, "How can I help you?"
It's a nice thought.
It leaves us with a lingering question for our listeners to consider. As standard automation seamlessly integrates into our digital infrastructure, taking over the friction of transactions, how will the fundamental nature of customer service change in your own daily experiences?
A question we will all have to answer very soon.
Thank you for joining us on The Debate.